Welcome back, casual gardeners. As I record this, it is the middle of December, and I've got a bunch of lettuce growing here next to me in my greenhouse. This is the video that's for all of the gardeners who like to stress out about stuff. The 10 most common mistakes that winter gardeners make, and hopefully how to avoid them. So number one, probably the biggest mistake that you can make when you're growing undercover through the winter is planting too late in the fall. In the winter, the days are short, there's not a lot of light, it gets cold, winter, and that means your plants are not going to be growing very much. So if you want to be taking harvests from your garden in December, preferably around Christmas time is my goal, you need to have that growth already on your plants. They need to be mature before they stop growing. So lettuce like this, you want to plant in September. If you have something that grows a little bit faster, like spinach, you might be able to get away with October. Something really, really fast, like arugula or rocket, you might be able to start even in November. But after that, it might be too late. So the next thing, number two, you don't just want to protect the leaves, you also want to protect the roots. So here in my greenhouse, I'm doing that by keeping everybody up on a shelf. The upper part of the greenhouse tends to stay warmer and more stable than down at ground level. So that's why these plants are able to be okay, despite the fact that it's freezing in here. It's dropping down below freezing here in the greenhouse. But because they're up where things are a little bit more stable, everybody's going to be okay. Now, out in your extended garden, that may also be the case. So let's say you have something that's perennial that is just barely appropriate for your zone. So I'm in zone 6 right now. If I have a zone 6 perennial, that means I'm going to want to baby it because USDA growing zones are an average, and you can drop below that average. You can have an abnormally cold winter. So the way we want to deal with that is, well, you can do row covers if it's a low perennial. The other alternative is, I know I've talked about how mulch volcanoes are not okay in the past. This is their time to shine. You can build a temporary mulch volcano around your sensitive plants, your sensitive perennials, just to protect them during the winter, as long as you pull that mulch back in the spring when it's done its job. Another great use for a mulch volcano is, say you've got a perennial in a pot. We know that pots are a little bit less sheltered. If you don't want to take your potted perennials indoors over the winter, you can build a mulch volcano over your potted perennials, or you can put them under a row cover as well. Problem number 3, do not overwater during the colder months. It's easy to get into a watering schedule when things are warm and growing, and then we think we need to maintain that same schedule when things are colder and slower, and we can wind up overwatering our plants. It's a little bit more difficult with lettuce, like I've got here, because lettuce really likes to keep its roots moist, but some plants may struggle, like this. Rosemary is not going to be a fan of staying wet. I have to be careful to let the roots dry out between watering. That's why I keep it in this terracotta pot. That helps me keep my rosemary happy. All right, number 4, you can have the opposite problem. You can underwater during a dry freeze. And I've lost trees this way. Plants don't go completely dormant. They don't shut down completely. They're still doing a little bit of metabolizing and being alive sort of stuff. They're maintaining. It's not great. They're not loving it. They're not happy, but they're still chugging along. If a dry freeze comes along, the soil's going to dry out. That moisture in the soil actually provides a little bit of shelter from the freezing cold, even as ice. Even if the soil freezes solid, your roots are going to be more protected than if it dries out. Your perennials or your annuals under cover need to be kept safe from drying out, because that will leave them extra vulnerable in the cold. When I was living in West Valley, Utah, I started to grow a pomegranate tree that was hardy down to USDA zone 6. So it would be sketchy here. It was fine there. But we had a particularly dry winter. And I thought it would be fine. And I did not water it. And it died. All right, number 5. Do not use the wrong kind of cover. If you want to use a thick plastic cover over your plants, keep in mind that that is not going to allow a lot of ventilation. Ventilation is important even in the winter. It's a little bit counterintuitive because, if we ventilate, we're letting the cold in. I mean, more accurately, we're letting the heat out. But you know, you know. But if you don't ventilate, if you're watering adequately and the plants are maintaining, you're going to get a buildup of humidity, and that can result in fungal infections on the leaves or root rot or other unfortunate problems. So if you are going to be leaving it under the cover for long periods of time, you might want to use something like a fleece, a horticultural fleece. That'll allow air movement through the fleece while still providing a nice warm blanket over your plants. Here in my greenhouse, of course, I do not have that problem because I have installed automatic vents and they actually do still open. They're going to be opening at least a little bit, even on the coldest months of the year, because a greenhouse does a really cool job holding on to the heat during the day, at least. And then my thermal mass helps me retain that heat overnight. I've got some thermal mass, and a good thermal mass really keeps some. All right, number 6. If you start your seedlings that are going to be growing outdoors inside, you might think, well, it's a more mellow time of year. I don't have to harden them off, right? Well, now you got to harden off anyone that you're moving out and planting out. So these little guys, they got hardened out as they moved into the greenhouse. Look how beautiful these leaves are. Oh, I love this lettuce variety. Also, it's delicious. So if you're an absolute gardening noob, hardening off is just giving your plants a chance to adapt to a new environment. So on day 1, you move them out into their new environment for, say, an hour. Then you take them back in. Day 2, you're going to give them a little bit more time. Day 3, a little bit more time. Over the course of about a week, you're going to get to a point where you can just leave them where they're going to be. That's hardening off. And if you harden off, you will have fewer tears as a gardener because you will lose fewer seedlings. All right, number 7 is kind of a repeat. Do not forget about ventilation. If you have a closed tunnel or a cold frame, you can hit like 90 plus degrees on a warm day, even in the middle of winter. So you need to be opening that up when it's sunny. I would be installing automatic vent openers even on a cold frame, just because I'm a nervous person when it comes to that. And I'd rather not miss a day and lose everything. But if you're particularly conscientious, your solution could just be going out and opening it manually. So anytime your daytime temperature is going to be bumping up above 45 degrees or 50 degrees Fahrenheit, I'm going to show you the Celsius. That's when you want to be popping out and venting your cover. All right, number 8, failure to account for pest pressure. Because we're growing plants, we're growing living things, there's a very good chance that their pests might be hanging out. If you're growing in a greenhouse, you can actually carry into your greenhouse all sorts of pests that will survive the winter and be super happy. So one of my favorite things to do is I will just make a point of not disturbing spider webs if they're in a place I can just ignore them. I love spiders in my greenhouse because they are eating the other stuff and even other spiders. Another thing you can do is set sticky traps in your greenhouse or your cold frame or your low tunnel. But whatever you do, just keep an eye on your crops as they're growing and have a plan for how you're going to deal with it if you get some pests. You may even encounter snail and slug pressure. I'm working on a video about slugs and snails because I realized I hadn't done one yet, and that's something a lot of people struggle with. So if you are curious about that, make sure that you are subscribed to my channel. Number 9 is growing the wrong varieties. Just because a type of plant is cold tolerant, that doesn't mean that you're necessarily growing the most cold tolerant variety of that type of plant. For example, these black-seeded Simpson, these lovely lime green leaves here, it actually doesn't do so great in the very, very cold. But I've noticed that most of the red-leafed lettuce varieties they perform magnificently well in the cold. So what I would recommend doing is researching your local varieties that are available for you that are particularly great in the cold. Asian greens, Mizuna and Tatsoi. Merlot is a great variety of loose leaf lettuce. There is also a particularly cold hardy romaine that you can grow. Rocket is just fine. Go to town with your rocket. Most varieties of spinach are going to be great, but there are extra cold hardy spinach varieties. So if you do a little bit homework up front and make sure that you have the appropriate varieties for overwinter growing, you are going to be more successful and you're going to harvest more delicious salads in December. All right, and mistake number 10 is just expecting fast growth in the winter. I don't know about you, but I don't feel great in the winter. And don't expect your plants to feel that way either. As I mentioned earlier, it is darker, it is colder, it is everything that plants do not love, and I don't particularly care for it either. So don't expect your plants to grow particularly fast. I'm growing way more lettuce in my greenhouse than I should need, and that's because I've accounted for the fact that it's gonna grow very slowly. As I harvest this lettuce to eat in my house over the winter, it's not going to grow to replace itself. It's more just kind of like hanging out in stasis now. We're at a point where it's done growing, and I'm just going to be picking a leaf or two off each plant, and it's just going to keep on keeping on the way it is. Grow extra stuff, grow more than you think you'll need, and you will be a happier, more successful winter grower. So those are my top 10 mistakes that gardeners make when they're growing in the winter. Let me know down in the comments if you think there's an important one I missed, or if you have any questions or comments. When we participate in the conversation in the comments, you're not just helping me out, you're also helping anybody else who might have watched my video and had some questions. You're helping each other. It's all altruistic and stuff, and that's neat. Make sure you've liked this video and subscribe to my channel if you like this video. Become a channel member if you're into that sort of thing. It would really help a fellow out. I'd love to get to a point where I can just live the dream and do nothing but garden and quit my crappy day job. Thank you so much for joining me here in my greenhouse today. I hope you have a wonderful time in your garden.